Okay, everyone. Hi, hi, hi. It's nice to see everybody tonight. It is Miss Polly. As you can see, I have a mic. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I do have a mic. so, I am trying to test it out, and on our test run here, we will surely appreciate um, people coming and viewing us. So, if you guys are new to the channel, hello. I'm Miss Polly. I talk about relationships, and I like to have conversations regarding how people have relationships with things, places, and each other, and how those relationships can be built very well and bring us closer together and have better lives. So I usually talk about a lot of things about poly too, but I just found maybe a little bit more because I think it's not only makes poly relationships better because obviously I have more questions. I have the tendency to, be able to do more than one thing. Hello, Grace. Miss Grace will be making a lovely appearance on her live also. You guys check that out right now. Miss Grace, I'm trying to figure out how to send my own damn channel out, but I let people know I went live. But at this point, we're just testing it out. We're gonna have some good conversation this evening, though. I do want to have some a good conversation. Even if you'd like to join, that'd be appreciated. Like I said, I don't know if you can hear me very well, but like I said, I'm testing out this new mic that I got recently. So hopefully everything sounds great. Let me know if something weird goes on. But I just want to go ahead and play our intro for people to come in. But I'll tell you our topic. Let me go ahead and put our little thing up here. Since it is Miss Polly Talk, we're gonna have a little poly conversation, and we're gonna talk about relationships. This would apply also to people who are out here dating, because I know it's winter time, Valentine's Day just passed, and some people have booze and some people don't. But if you are in the market for looking for partners, it is good to think about how to do that. And some people you call pick me's. I've been called a pick me. I really don't see a problem with being picked. Okay, I don't see an issue with being picked. I think that's the whole purpose of dating and meeting people is to be picked. So for all those who say, "Oh, pick me is bad," my man. All right, so it's giving static. Oh no, okay. Let me try to take this down. Okay, let's see. Cause you guys know I don't know how to use all this stuff. Is it getting a little bit better? Okay, yeah, I came back. I'm trying my best to fix it, guys. Bear with me as I do that. Is it sounding better? Hopefully, it sounds better. It's brand new. I just put it up here. Um, right. People say I'd rather, pick me. I think that's ridiculous. So, like I said before, this conversation is more about how I date as a poly person, but also how you could date also as a woman who does want to get picked as a person, or a man who wants to get picked as a person. But for this advice, I would say it's more for the women. Man, you could please chime in, because just because I'm here having a conversation doesn't mean I can't have someone tell me some correction, because I'm open to all correction if need be. But let's just go ahead and play our little intro, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Hey, Miss Polly. Hey, Miss Polly. Hey, Miss Polly.
Okay, thank you guys for that. A little bit intro there. Hopefully, it's not too much static. You hear me well still. So, back to our conversation. So, one of the things that I get asked a lot is how am I dating? And I want to be clear about that. Dating for me is like we're together and we go on multiple dates, and and then I've been told I should reword some of these things. So I think when I'm together with a partner, I am together with you. I might say I'm dating you, but for the most part, when I'm, you know, with you, I'm with you, right? But before we get there, how do we get there? How do we get there, Grace? How do we get there, right? And one of the things is you gotta put yourself out there, women, okay? So like I said, pick me, whatever. It's whatever. Now I will say we're gonna go into dating world in 2025 with apps and all kinds of things. A lot of people like person in person dating, but when you're dating and you're on an app, if you're, any of the apps, BLK, Facebook dating, I really don't like Tinder, but it's just, whatever. Tinder, any other one. A lot of women will get on there, put all this information about themselves on there, and they'll, I'm a strong woman. Oh God, stop saying that, lady. Okay, that's one job. Never mind. If you have a strong personality, they gonna see it. Okay, you don't gotta keep telling everybody you strong. They understand if they meet you and you're real on defense and like they're gonna hear that anyway. You don't have to put that in there. You actually saying that, uh, that sounds like you're telling somebody, hey, when you come and have a conversation with me, you should already be ready to be in kind of some kind of combative form. So you want to be careful with your wording on there. Okay. And then also, ladies, another thing is, I think you guys should minimize what you're putting on there. A lot of people give out a lot of information. I'm not saying you shouldn't put down some good basic information. Hey, this, but you guys got to realize this: men are coming into this space to talk to women, and a lot of women, what you're doing is you're basically giving them a guide if they did want to do you dirty, to do you dirty. Um, you're putting down, like, I feel like like you said, organic, right? We're gonna have organic conversation. When you meet me, you should ask me questions. I should be intrigued. I should want to know you. You should, you know, it's like back and forth. If somebody already has a blueprint to everything about you, what's the point of trying to interact with you? Matter of fact, they already done canceled your ass out because they didn't read everything. At this point, now they just already gonna take the information and say, okay, well, no or yes, So what I mean by that, you can say your age, maybe write down like a few things you like. You don't gotta put every damn thing. You don't gotta put down, you know, oh, you know what? If you ain't about to take me on a date, to this and this, don't even bother. Like, I now understand women. Some people are like, our expectation. You can set that in a conversation because realistically, I know a lot of women want to hold on to this idea that a man, you got to tell him what to give you, he don't give you, which to some point that is true. You have to set boundaries and set down what your expectations are in a relationship. That is something you do when you're in the process of getting to that point to be in a relationship with someone. When you first initially start, you should be like, okay, all this. I like to go to these places. You ask me what kind of place I like to go, I'll tell you the little places I like to go. But when you're sitting there and on a line and a man's writing you and you wrote down all these things as criteria, it's so heavy. It's overwhelmingly stressful. You want to be inviting. A lot of men say that inviting. They want to approach you, be approachable, lady. So when a man reads your thing, you might want to say, "Oh, I would like to find out more about her." You want to capture their interest. Okay, be a little mysterious. You want him to kind of chase you because you want him to be intrigued by you. You want him to, oh, wonderful. That's why another bad thing would be the photos, ladies. I mean, at some point, I'm seeing ladies with full crotch photos talking about some. Oh, I'm looking for my boo, my husband. Like, okay, I don't know. I'm confused. Even in my photos, like I can look, I suppose, look, look some kind of way to some people. And I clarify that later, but the first look, I know what it looks like. So I'm saying, like, for some women on there, you gotta know that, like, if you have your choice of photos is going to be the most raunchiest, skimpy skirt, whatever. You know that he didn't seen it all at this point. You already showed him the show. He didn't read your thing, and he got the blueprint to even do you dirty if you want to do you dirty. You didn't told him that you down bad by saying this and that. So now he's like, oh, she desperate. She just looking for something to get over this last guy. She just got a relationship. They just reading you. You just basically getting a blueprint to you dirty. So I don't think you should pull back a little bit on that. So be careful with that, ladies, when you put yourself out there. But the most part is like how I'll tell you how I or pursue talking to people. And I think this is a good way to view it for a lot of women. Or, I think a lot of women, because I can't, the man is opposite. Men are usually pursuing. So at this point, it's kind of right. So as a woman, I always see it as when a man sees my profile, he's read all my things about me being poly and whatnot, regardless if I'm in a poly environment or not. When they read that information and they choose to say hi to me or they choose to match me, they're already chosen, whatever the reason is. Even if it's a bad, even if it's, oh, I just want to see if I could really get in or talk to her or maybe do something with her. He chose already. So when women are like, I don't want to get picked, I'm not a pick me. I ain't gonna set it up so a guy want to pick me. He already picked you because he looked at you and thought you were worthy enough for whatever reason to talk to you. Now the purpose of talking to you, that could be lots of things. It could be just a one night stand, but he chose you. Out of all the other women he didn't saw out here tonight, he chose you. So you was a pick me. So women in their mind is saying, I'm not a pick me. Somebody picked you for whatever reason. I don't know. If he picked you because he know that you got kids at home and your mama took them for the weekend and you just want to hit and he can take his ass home and don't gotta stay the night, then he chose you. You got picked. You got picked. And so I want you guys got that mindset. But if you're in the situation you're just dating and a guy comes up and he's like, or he comes up to you, or online he enters that he picked you already. You were already chosen. So in a woman's point of view, for me, I tell people all the time, I do not pursue men. I've only pursued one man. That was interesting. That's interesting. And I didn't even end up dating the man. I pursued him. And it was lots of flirting, lots of good, funny stuff. But it did that one time I did it. And we're pretty cool friends. So then a man has already chosen you. So at this point, how I see it, when I go out here and date around, a man says, hey, what's up, miss? Right? And then I'm looking through the profiles, right? You're looking at the profiles, you read the profile. And at that point, you can start conversation. Yeah, I do start conversations with several people at a time. I do. A lot of them don't last more than 48 hours. Some people, it's not even sometimes it's the retention. Sometimes it's like they just don't match with what I'm looking for. I can easily, read that, have conversation. Next thing that takes place is that once they've already chosen me because they picked me out of the group of women. Now there might be several other ones they picked too. Yeah, whatever. They're just throwing it out there, whatever. But I was one of them. They can surely push X2. So once they've done that and I read their profile, I may say hi, they wave or something, say hello or whatever. What I mean by wave is electronically wave. And so then you say hi back or whatever. Then they start a little bit of conversation, right? So I have those little conversations. A lot of people who are on these apps, I already know that their attention is because most likely they're talking to more than one person already. They may be talking to someone longer than me. So conversation should be really short and sweet, right? So when they're doing all that, I'm kind of reading the profile, asking questions, and then next thing I do, next step is I actually have um, usually have actual call. I'm not all the time, but usually I do to clarify things. I'm not great um at writing down all the stuff that they want to know about poly. It's just too much. I'd rather have a conversation. So once that starts happening, um, I'm still waiting. So a lot of people are like, well, why are you talking to all of these people? And my perception of this conversation is that, yeah, I'm talking to several people having small conversations as if I was in a public space, meeting several people, and I'm just saying, hey, how are you? Oh, that's cool. You did that. Oh, that's wonderful. There is nothing that has connected me or made me want to have more in depth conversation or more in depth interaction with anybody at that point. So that's why I say at that point, it's just they're just there. And so at that there's nothing there. So you'd have to grab my attention. So a lot of people will say, well, how do you know who you want to talk to? Well, something has to gather my attention more than just, hey, you cute. Do you want to go out to dinner? Okay. So like it's got to be something. We connected on something. we had a deeper conversation. You said something, and there's a point whenever that hits where I'm investing time. That is when I have decided to choose you back. That's just choose to interact with you deeper. Now I want to have more conversation with you. And at that point, I still am not initiating, oh, you want to meet tomorrow? I'm not doing that. So at that point, I'm just choosing to have more interaction with you, more conversation. I might start now going back and saying hi to you. It's usually most of the time, if we look, because I look at my apps and go back and look, a lot of times it's one way. A lot of conversation this way, I will reply it back. I don't I don't really start having deep conversation with you until there is some kind of conversation has intrigued me enough for me to interact back. Then after that interaction back, then I'll start usually having more voice conversations with you where there's a session or two or something, where it's like an hour or something. What do you do in your life? It's something like that. Okay, because that then I want to really start trying to talking to you and figuring out things. Now I'm trying to view where this relationship could possibly go. So that first interaction, ladies, that's how I think most of you should start moving. Is let they already picked you, but let them do that. Let them do that pursuit. It's naturally happening. Now a lot of women are like, well, I want him to take me out on a date. But if you are pressing someone to do all that, they're not in the place where they want to do that. Because most men now are in a place of this woman might be trying to take me for money or on dates for food and blah blah blah. So when a man really starts to like you, or he decided that you're not trying to be on no BS, he is going to do that. A man who likes you is going to do those things already. You don't got to ask no man to do those things. He's going to do it. And even myself, sometimes I be like, oh, why don't they do this? Why don't they? And they're like, well, maybe they don't know. It Most men out here who are of age know that women have expectations that are up the wazoo. And at the end of the day, if he isn't even attempting to meet any of those things, or you could how can I say it? Depending on the kind of man who's interested in you too. Some men aren't gonna go buy you a Louis just because you want it, but he might buy you other things because he knows you need it, or it's something that would make your life easier, or something that he knows that would compliment you. He'll do those things, and that's where that perception of gifts giving can get confusing because there are people who will be like, "Oh, he never shows me love in a particular way. He never gives me this." And this man's thinking, "Oh, okay, well, I just gonna buy stuff that you need. I think you needed some shoes or something like that." Like he's not thinking you want to have fun stuff. Sometimes you do have to give out those. Hey, you know what? If I could have that, I really like that. A lot of times, the man's paying attention to you, and he knows, you know, what you need, and you need certain things. He's gonna make sure your needs are met first, and after those needs are met, that's why I say usually husbands stuff like that. Your needs are met, then he'll probably go to things you like to enjoy and have fun with. Then he'll start getting love. But that's a process, and a lot of people want to jump that, or a lot of people are just trying to get relationships for this exchange, which is your choice. Hands up. I know a lot of people don't like unconditional love and they don't believe in it. I get it. So if you don't believe in love and don't want to practice um unconditional love, then I can understand why you would want someone to buy you this, and this, because those items are contributing to you to your connection with that person. I don't agree with that personally, but there are some people who are like that. They're like, I've seen it all Valentine's Day. After Valentine's Day, you hear people say, "Look, my man really loves me. He bought me a bag. My man really loves me. He bought me all these flowers." And it's like, okay, so they're equating how much someone's willing to sacrifice, or give to equate love. And honestly, I don't think that's always the case. A lot of men are in the mindset that that is the case. They have to meet those requirements, and they do, because they know that's what they have to do, because you don't equate it. So and that's where you have that issue where the women who have these um standards that don't even meet regular people. So the issue right there, where a woman gets $1,000 and some shoes, which is $1,000 is a lot. You get $1,000, and then he tries to get you some shoes, and he gives you Nikes, and you're mad that you got Nikes, and now he's ruined your Valentine's Day. I've seen foolishness happen. Um, but that I mean, he's doing something, he's putting effort, and it's not good enough for you because you're seeing social media and thinking uh, you deserve, or he should have sacrificed more. When half of y'all barely want to get to work, I don't even want to go sometimes. And so I'm trying to say is that, like, we 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 see men in a sacrificial lamb situation. They have to sacrifice because their sacrifice means the caring and loving, and a lot of people view that way. And when you're trying to force someone to sacrifice everything, and to the point where you don't even care what happens to them, that's not a relationship that is mutually loving and caring. That's not what that is. So, um, but the way, I think that a lot of ladies are dating now, could be, like you said, a pick me situation, but they're already picking you. So I think that a lot of these apps and things like that, the way that I've been seen, or I've kind of perceived it, is that women are on here waiting for these guys to talk to them, and then these guys are coming onto the app and they're picking a lady, and the women are then going through and just picking one person, and then they try to focus on that person for a couple days, see where it goes. And then they'll lightly talk to some other ones, but they'll find one, and they'll hyper focus on that one. Which I actually don't think you should do that, because like I said, a lot of things don't even last 48 hours, or some people don't have enough time to invest in the conversations long enough that you can figure out if you like them. So instead of having three different conversations and then like two drop off, and you're still talking to people, you still are interacting with people at the same time. So let's say I start talking to this one person, and then I say start talking to Smith, and I start talking to John. Okay, and then I start talking to Todd. John Smith, Todd. So let's say that John is talking to me, his conversation is pretty okay. And then Todd, said hey to me, he said a couple of things, but then he said he had to go to work this weekend. So I haven't really talked to Todd. Okay. Um, and then I'm talking to the second gentleman, and I start talking to him, and then all of a sudden John falls off. Okay. Well, then Todd comes back in the conversation. See, I'm not losing anything in these conversations. So just having light conversation, like I said, most people are in this level of just light conversation. It's like we hung out. Sorry, my whole chest is red. We hung out and had conversation. This is another reason why I do not believe. Hey, Nina, I do not believe men should um go on these extravagant dates at first. I've had guys come and say, "Hey, I want to take you out," blah blah, and I'm looking like, "Okay, that's cool," but like I don't even know if like the first 10 minutes I may not even want to talk to you. Now you trying to take me on a date, and I don't want to be in the same room with you for hours. Like I don't like either. You have to say I don't want to drive in the car with you back. I don't want to interact with you like that. So that's why I think it's really important to set up a system of how you date. And a lot of people are like, oh, Miss Polly, you always are talking about all these things that sound so complex. To be honest with you, when you date monogamously, it's the same thing. You've seen someone else do all the steps in monogamy that you're just copying them your whole life. But when you break it down, it's the same. You just know all the rules already. You didn't have to set up anything because you already seen it. But yeah, you should definitely set up a way you would like to date. Like I know that like after 2 weeks of talking to you, or I mean that's long, be honest. But like if I'm talking to you and I'm getting this low vibration from you, and you haven't said any reason why you're on low vibration, like then I'm like maybe we just don't click. So should I continue this conversation? Probably not. If you like, there's some people that I feel like they like to be entertained. So I've gone from the apps and I meet someone, they're like, "Hey, you seem pretty cool." Now through text they sound really cool. Then you get on the phone with them and it feels like I'm pulling teeth for conversation. Or they just say, "Oh, I'm just so laid back. I don't, I'm just so I got nothing to do." And okay. And to me, that that's an indicator of you want somebody to entertain you. And I am not a monkey and I'm not entertaining me. I not to that extent. There are some people who want a girlfriend to entertain them because they are bored. They are bored. That they're like on board basically. They stayed a lot. They're bored. They don't really got nothing to do. They want to be entertained by something or somebody. And I'm just like, I don't got enough entertainment for that. Mm-mm. I don't think so. Or and even if I was willing to entertain you, um, like we don't have a lot to talk about because you don't really do too much or have too much interaction with anything. So basically, what would end up happening is like we would sit in a room and not talk to each other and maybe watch something. Hopefully, if we even like shows or something together. And then what ends up happening is I would probably end up going telling you want to go out all the time. We just be going out all the time, and you just be spending money all the time because there's nothing else really keeping it alive but entertainment purposes, and that's just what it is. Like I don't mind a man who stays home and relaxes and has conversation with me. That's fine. But like, if you just dry and you want me to be, it, I don't know. I don't even know how to do it. I can't do it. So not for me. But it's okay. I'm not saying you gotta do tricks. That's what I said. I just like the quiet guy. I think I'm boring. I'm entertaining for all of us. But when you are just like there's nothing happening or past conversation. I don't know. That's wild. I don't know. There's some people who I think really just like use someone to date as a television program they can watch. I just don't think that's for me. But that's okay. But the way I'm saying about your process of dating, back towards the process of dating online, definitely take the time, have some light conversation. As a woman, sit back. They've already picked you. Now you're just trying to see if they're worthy enough of more of your time. That's not. And then if somebody come on here and say, "Oh, you just try these guys to do all this," no, you already chose me. I'm just wondering if I should choose you back. You chose me. I'm okay. So at this point, I want to know why you chose me. Are we vibing enough? Should I continue a conversation with you? And should I give you my time? Because my time is precious. That's it. So women, please, 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 please. You know your time is special. Um, you don't give it out when there's no need. And truthfully, a lot of times I give my time because I'm bored. That's what one good Henry. Just good. I'm just sitting there and I just sitting there in line and I looked at the app and I didn't look to somebody said hi back, then it said something to me. It's really chance sometimes. Really is sometimes just chance. Because sometimes I might be bored for 10 or 15 minutes and that's it. And that's the opportunity it took to have conversation. But because people say hi all the time, people want to have conversation all the time. I mean, I work in a restaurant. Who isn't? My job is to talk to people. So at this point, someone just talking to me, it don't mean much. It's gotta be meaningful conversation. It has to be like it can't even be the intent of I want to take you out. Okay, like it has to be more than that. Like I said, I'm not going on a date with somebody who I can't be in a room with for 5 minutes because I don't like anything they're talking about. I've gone out where I don't like someone's um outlook on something. And it's like we went out with the person, now you stuck in the car for 15, 20 minutes on the drive home. You just like, I just can't wait to get out the car and tell this man I do not want to pursue any other conversation with this man. And then some people will say, "Oh, you should have took your own car." Okay, whatever. It don't even matter. That's why you shouldn't even really be going to those kind of dates until you've gone to the point where you know that you can have a conversation with this person for an hour. That's where you need to find that out. Can you have a conversation with this person for an hour? They've already picked you for whatever reason, and now you're really just choosing them back. So when you're on these apps, ladies, you're choosing them back. And men, if you're on the app and you're looking at women and they haven't really talked too much, you have to pursue intentionally or whatever the purpose is. It could be, sexual too. Just whatever that is, you need to be doing that. Look, Quentin. And so your pursuit of a woman um should be capturing her attention. Now, I know there's some women out here who don't get a lot of attention. Their vibe might be different, and that's okay too. That's where you also, as a woman, have to know that if you don't get a lot of inboxes, you don't know what it looks like. Okay, but there are men that they most likely sound very, very similar when they first come to you. They most likely said, "Hey, how are you today?" They may even say, "Sweetheart." They may, okay, like that's where I think that men, when they have the conversations about if you had a dad in your life or someone told you they loved you, they told you all those things. When another man comes up, just saying it, sometimes it's the wrong man who's saying it, and you like, oh my gosh, you said this, or he held my hand. Like you're not, it's not like a shock, you know. It's like okay, and it's not like okay because if it's the right person, yeah, that's really nice. But like I said, everyone says hi. Everyone says oh, you look nice today. Okay. Even if that's even unattractive people. Oh, you look nice today. Oh, thank you. If you went around all day and had those kind of conversations, you would not, even if you're an unattractive person, if you were like that, you went around saying, hey, how are you? People at church say, oh, you look nice today. Your clothes look great. Oh, thank you. Okay, I tried my best. When you have those kind of conversations, the man walks out of nowhere and says it to you, you're like, okay, not like I don't care. I hear you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. But the way it hits is different. It's not like, oh my God, I'm just gonna take off all my clothes. It's not no. It's not the same. So if someone said, "Hey, you look nice," say thank you. I really appreciate that. Now, if someone's like, "You know what? You look really nice today," and I know them because I know their intention. For, oh, you look really nice. I like how you match those green and yellow. I seen last week you did that other way. I'm like, oh, you, you pay attention. See, that is the thing. It's the little things I'm listening for. I'm not listening to the other, and that's where the kind of level kind of guy you mess with, and even the sneaky ones, ladies, the sneaky ones. There's some guys out here. They ain't new to the game. They're good, and I know they're good. I be like, oh, you good? They be like, oh, I saw you, and they'll come in there with real intent to get you and get you somewhere. Uh, but they have a short term intention. You can tell, but at the end of the day, some people like that, But you can read it. So the level of man too, even the ones who are trying to scam you, the level you just got to up your game when it comes to that, and you're going to get probably tricked at some point. But recognizing little things, the catch it is important, and doing something about it when you catch it is the more important thing about it. But most people aren't doing that. Most people are very open with they want. They talk about it. A lot of men, when you're on these apps, uh, women, they're gonna tell you what they're looking for and what they're not. We need to stop sometimes trying to read in between the lines, um, and read something that's not there. Okay. So if someone is saying you ask, oh, you're looking for a relationship, they're like, oh, I heard people say, oh, it could turn into that. Okay, so that means right now you're not looking for that. But if you like someone enough, it could be. But that's everybody. So okay, you're not looking for a relationship. Like you have to hear what they're saying and listen to it. Um, you need to kind of let them talk. I know a lot of women don't like that. Oh, you just be quiet and sit back. You know, if you sit in your quiet place and listen, they tell everything. They tell everything. They tell everything. Women do it too, but men will tell you everything and they wait for your response. You hear what they say when they said it. That's what it is. And most of the time they're not gonna change what they say. Um, you'll hear them say something and they mean it. And a lot of times when they're in the place of not paying attention is where they slip. Like I said, if you're trying to get unless you're with someone. Their intent is to either they know why they chose you. So once they choose you, that's the focus on everything. Now, like I said, there's levels of men who know how to manipulate and do twisted things, but most of them they told you, and a lot of times, even if they do try to hide it, if you sit quiet enough and you listen, you'll hear it. And so you want to hear what they're saying, what they're really saying. And that's for women too. Like I said, it's kind of focused on how women are out here dating. But women basically already said it. A lot of times that's why I said in those profiles, ladies, y'all then told the whole blueprint. Most guys don't have to read but a little bit of what you said because they're intentionally looking for whatever it is, even if it's sex. And so when you are writing all these things like, oh, I just broke up with blah blah. So basically you're saying that if he said just the right things a couple of times, you're like butter on hot toast because you're in a place where you just want to be loved. You sometimes have to recognize you are putting your weaknesses in those places and that you are attracting people, not maybe not always intentionally, but you're attracting people who are looking for people in vulnerable places because they're easier to deal with. So just be mindful, very mindful of that. But the big one that's why I really brought y'all here is that to talk about how to set up dating, how you're going to structure it in your mind when you get on these apps. If you're already on the app, if you're looking for some cuties and you want to get in shape, because me and Rose we have our cooking channel. We're going to start talking about food prep here. So if you guys want to start getting in shape, losing a little bit of weight, trying to get your muscle on, guys, get your work on your chest. No flat chest this year, right? And we want to work on our arms and get out there and put our best foot forward. Remember that men already chose you when they push the like on your photo and they have the conversation. You already chosen. Now the shallowness of the choice, I don't know, but you're chosen. And are you a pick me? If you're on the app, yes, you're asking to be picked. Okay, you didn't get on the app to be not chosen. Okay, you did not. So just letting y'all know, you want to be chosen. I just don't know what for. So when you're on there, if your reason that you would like to get chosen, uh, we need to make sure our profiles are appropriately attracting and we're able to sit back in that feminine energy and allow men to pick us. And then remember that women, then you are in a place of being able to choose them back. That's what it's all about us being able to choose those men back. That's what we want to do. They already chose us. We're choosing them back. Make sure that when we choose back, it is for the right man and the right reasons, and so that we can have successful relationships. And so that's what we're really trying to do. Okay. And then go from there and do the best we can at making the right choice because we're the ones who are going to move the relationship forward because that's what most men do. Most men are pursuing, and we are just figuring out which ones to pick. Now, now we can have another conversation about ladies who aren't getting chosen. Or getting chosen, but see, they're still getting chosen. Might be getting chosen for the wrong reasons. Now we might have to fix some things with you on that. Might have to have a conversation or two. There might be some other things going on that we might want to work on. To get you in a place where you can be a person that's choosable. Okay. And believe it or not, there is someone out there for you. And I know that's the thing I hear. We don't want to talk about the relationship things where everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta be this and this, and no one's gonna choose you. You're gonna be a virgin or only have five guys." All that. At the end of the day, there's somebody who would match you well and who would be okay with certain things. Regardless of how many conversations you hear out there, there's probably someone out there who is able to really get to know you and find out if you're someone that is worth them being, and that person will choose you, and you can. So I just wanted to leave that out there. Thank you for listening to me. I try my best. Well, I appreciate this. We want to put out a little stream today with this lovely new mic. And thank you very much, so much. I know um that mics are amazing, and I appreciate I appreciate the gift because I needed it. So, um, one day closer to being the best podcaster there's ever been. Loves and kisses, right? Well, I'm gonna take myself and reflect this evening, and I hope you guys do too. If you guys like, subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Share the video with someone who would love to be picked. Or just needs a little bit of advice on how to put ourselves out here on the dating app. And if you guys like to know a little bit more about that or how that process goes, we can surely have more conversation. I'm always here for that. But thank you guys for popping in. Quentin, the lovely Grace, Nino. Thank you, Nino. I know Nino's going live here. I might say hi to him before we run away, all the way off live. Dub, thank you for stopping in 2 times, not one, but twice. Okay, and anybody else who is watching, appreciate the love and support. If you guys like to hear any more topics, we can surely chatter. Obviously, with the new mic, this will give us some really good quality videos, hopefully, here. Now we're going to work on some other things like obviously, our computer and things like that. But one step at a time, one day at a time, getting closer to those places. Um, and next time maybe we'll have a little panel or have Miss Steve join us and we'll go from there. But I appreciate y'all for stopping in today. And y'all have a lovely, lovely evening.